Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, December 1st. A very unsettled morning here in the northeastern part of the nation. Still precipitation falling in New England, the Mid-Atlantic region, the Ohio Valley, the eastern Great Lakes, all associated with that powerful storm system that produced some significant rainfall on Monday, even some strong to severe thunderstorms as the powerful cold front whipped through the I-95 corridor region late in the day yesterday. We talked last week about this particular storm system being kind of a pattern changer. Indeed, it looks like there'll be more persistent cold over the next couple of weeks in the central and eastern U.S., especially compared with the last couple of weeks that have been above normal in most spots. We again have unsettled conditions and a colder pattern setting up today. Snow falling right now at a pretty good clip across portions of Ohio, western Pennsylvania, southwestern New York. Even some snowflakes at last hour seen all the way down to the far northern suburbs of Washington, D.C. Colder air that has moved in the overnight hours will signal this change to a colder weather pattern, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the reasons behind colder weather pattern for the central and eastern U.S. going forward, right, at least until the middle part of December. Here's the latest radar loop from WSI's and Telecast.com. Snow is showing up on these particular radar images in blue. And again, some significant snowfall. The real area that will get some significant accumulations over the next 12 to 24 hours or so, just downstream of Lake Erie. Cleveland, Ohio, the northeastern part of Ohio, the western part of Pennsylvania, southwestern New York. The upper level system is upper level low pressure system has pretty much grinded to a halt. We talked all last week about a blocking pattern setting up this week across eastern Canada, and that has prevented this system from moving away in the overnight hours, and we'll have another day to deal with it again. Unsettled enough for some showers, even mixed some snowflakes near D.C. Same thing can happen in Philly and New York later in the day with some shower activity, possibly mixed with flakes at times, and accumulating snow throughout much of the Ohio Valley and the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region, especially those higher elevation areas, upstate Pennsylvania and western New York. Again, you could kind of see the rotation this morning as that upper level low just spins around the northeastern part of the nation, again blocked by high pressure ridging across eastern Canada. Well, in terms of the prospects for some colder air outbreaks over the next couple of weeks in the central and eastern U.S., one of the things we've been looking at, teleconnection indices, which kind of tell you what is happening in one part of the world can have an impact on another part of the world. In this particular case, we're looking at the Arctic Oscillation and the North Atlantic Oscillation. These are dictated by what's going on across the Arctic in terms of the temperature and pressure pattern. And when these fall into negative territory, especially for a sustained period of time, that generally is correlated with a colder weather pattern in the central and eastern U.S. And indeed, both of these are forecasted to go into negative territory and stay in negative territory for the next several days. The forecasts are shown on these particular plots in red, the observed in current and past situation in black. And look at this. Right now, as we begin the month of December, right in this region right here, AO is neutral, but it is forecasted to drop into negative territory and stay there for several days. Again, that's generally correlated with some high latitude blocking and some cold air outbreaks that can make it all the way from northern Canada into the central and eastern U.S. And indeed, that looks like that will be the case over the next couple of weeks. Well, a closely related cousin to the Arctic Oscillation Index is known as the North Atlantic Oscillation, and indeed, similar pattern here, generally near neutral as we begin the month of December, but then forecasted to drop into negative territory and stay there for several days. So both of these are kind of supporting each other and supporting the idea of more cold air outbreaks for the central and eastern U.S. over the next couple of weeks. Well, one other product we can look at with respect to the potential temperature pattern over the next couple of weeks is the 5-day average of the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. This happens to be from the Ensemble run of the GFS at 6Z last night. We're looking at the current 5-day period, and again, we just had a warm day on Monday, and certainly turning colder today. But watch where the colder than normal air mass is situated as we move forward into the middle part of December. Generally starting off in this current 5-day period with the most significant from normal down across the southern U.S., and then it kind of expands slowly to the North Andes. Here we go out now to days 7 to 11. This is basically next week, December 7th all the way to December 12th time frame. And then it starts to fade away very briefly. But look at this. By the time we get to the middle part of the month, days 12 to 16, this runs from December 12th to December 17th, below normal conditions throughout much of the eastern 2/3 of the nation. So again, we're kind of seeing this as a possibility from those teleconnection index forecasts over the next couple of weeks, specifically the AO and the NAO. I did not show the PNA, the Pacific North American Teleconnection Index, when that goes into positive territory, as it is forecasted to do. That also supports the idea of some cold air outbreaks making it into the central and eastern U.S. on a more persistent basis. But again, this is the middle part of December, an ensemble run, which generally tends to smooth things out with time as it's based partly on climatology. Pretty significant colder air, below normal cold air mass setting up across much of the eastern 2/3 of the nation by the time we get to the middle part of December. Well, let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps from the operational run of the GFS at 0Z last night. Again, the blue showing up in areas cold enough for snow, and northeastern Ohio is really the bullseye area here for expected accumulations over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. A couple of reasons why. We have this upper level low just sitting and spinning over top of the eastern Great Lakes over the next 24 hours or so, and you also have, combined with that, lake effect snows across northeastern Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania. Just downstream of Lake Erie, the winds will be in a perfect direction to cross over the widest part of the lake and dump snow. Places like Cleveland across throughout northeastern Ohio, north central Ohio, into northwestern Pennsylvania. Again, there can be some showers that make it all the way east of the Appalachian Mountains into the I-95 corridor region. We have some showers of rain in the District of Columbia right now, and mixed with big flakes of snow in the far northern suburbs last hour. Same sort of thing could happen across Philly and New York City over the midday and early afternoon hours here. Let's move forward here. Still sitting and spinning, finally tending to move away by midweek tomorrow, Wednesday, but the winds will remain a factor, and that will make it feel even colder than the actual air temperature. High temperatures tomorrow, most likely in the low to mid 40s of the DC, Philadelphia, New York City corridor, but with these brisk winds, even lower wind chill values. Then attention will turn to the middle part of the nation. This is a Thursday morning forecast map, and there's still some disagreement amongst the computer forecast models as to the potential outcome of this storm that will be brewing over the center part of the nation later in the week. Some have it moving off the southeast coastline and not impacting the mid-Atlantic region. Other models, including this model, certainly have an impact in the mid-Atlantic region, and we'll go forward here and just show what happens here. The GFS really is quite bullish on this particular storm system over the upcoming weekend. It does pull it to the North Andes, and that is certainly something that's on the table. There'll be enough cold air around for some frozen precipitation in the northeastern part of the nation. Exactly how much, still too early to tell. And again, some of the other computer forecast models do not even have this storm moving up into the northeastern part of the nation. Just a bit too early to tell, but certainly there'll be another storm to watch, to monitor at the end of this week and during the upcoming weekend. But for today, significant snowfall can accumulate across the northern, especially the northeastern part of Ohio, western Pennsylvania, southwestern New York, and even some snowflakes this morning across the northern suburbs of DC. Same thing could happen in Philly and New York City during the midday and afternoon hours. That's it for now for PerspectiveWeather.com. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.